Extension Greening Michigan Institute team. That's a big mouthful. I'm also I'm the president of the Northern Lakes Economic Alliance, which is a regional economic development organization just south of the bridge, serving 4 counties from the Mackinac Bridge down to Elk Rapids, which is right just a little north of Traverse City. And anyway, so Carl, great job wherever you just went, but thank you very much for that. I appreciate you coming over from TV 6. I had to admit, though, Joe Charlevoix is our weatherman in the Lower Peninsula. I apologize. So, I don't know Carl as well as everybody else in this room does. Before we get started, I'd like to... We have too many contractions here. Just a second. I would just like to remind all that Michigan State is open to all. All right. Several of the people in the room have been to many of these conferences and understand the program, and a lot of you have not and are fairly new. So I just wanted to really quickly, as we move through some things, the concept of entrepreneurship of the CEC program is pretty simple. It's to help communities learn tools and resources to go home and help more entrepreneurs grow. And it's also to help connect you with other communities that are doing the same thing. There's lots of great things going on across the country, specifically in Michigan. Many communities here are doing some very innovative, exciting, and oftentimes simple programming to assist entrepreneurs grow. And so this conference and this opportunity to be together for the next 24 hours is designed to, again, help you learn from experts who have done many, many things, but also to help you connect with other people so you can share ideas and best practices. So over the next 24 hours, I want to make sure that you leave here with at least 1 or 2 people that you did not know before, so you can make a connection, all right? And the types of things that we do in our agenda will help facilitate that, hopefully. Also, want to thank all of the very unique venues that you'll be visiting, including right here, the birthplace of professional hockey. How many knew that this was the birthplace of professional hockey? I did not know it until 40 years ago when my parents told me. But okay, I did know it. Okay, anyway. So, but anyway, this is an example. So, unlike most conferences that you've gone to, usually you go to a conference, you're in a big convention center, you hear a keynote speaker, and then it's time for breakout sessions, and you go down the hall, and you go to conference room A or B or C or whatever. And every conference room looks the same. You could be in Oklahoma, Michigan, or wherever. You know, you got a nice square room with a blank wall, and a very good presenter doing their thing. Well, that's no fun. So what we do with this conference, and this will be the 4th year that we've done it this way, we embed the conference in the local community. So what you're going to experience, we'll hear a very good keynote speaker here in a couple of minutes, and then when it comes time for the breakout sessions, you'll be wandering around downtown Houghton, going into various businesses and governmental agencies, different places, very unique settings, very small by design, and you'll be learning what you're going to learn, but you'll be right in a business. Tomorrow we'll be doing the same thing over at Hancock. So it's a little different thing. It allows you to kind of walk around, see the community, get to know people, and we purposely allow about a half hour in between sessions. First of all, you're bound to get lost a little bit, although there's a map in your packet. But more importantly, you may find a cool little place you want to duck into and take a look at, you know. And so feel free to duck in and take a look. Feel free to spend money in these communities. And feel free to spend money in these communities. Like I said, feel free to spend money in these communities, all right? And but anyway, but as you're walking around, thank the people for having us here. You know, both Houghton and Hancock have really rolled out the welcome mat and just done a wonderful job of welcoming this group here. So we really, really appreciate that. So right now, in advance, let's give both communities and all the venues a big round of applause. Thank you. All right, the last thing I'll mention before we dive into something here is flexible. I said, the cool thing about this conference is it's so unique, and the sessions are embedded, and you're wandering around town. But also with that comes a little flexibility on all of our part. You may be asked to help put a chair up or put a chair down, or things may not be exactly the way they would be if it was a very choreographed session in one room. So that's the uniqueness. So I just urge everybody to be incredibly flexible over the next 24 hours, okay? And it's kind of like the other day. My wife is from New Hampshire, and I live in Petoskey. And to drive to New Hampshire, there's all different kinds of ways to go. We love to shoot up to the Sioux and head across Canada up to Montreal. And when they quit speaking English, then we head south. We know it's time to go down to Vermont or Maine, where we're going down. Well, we always have this pack as we go through Montreal. If you've ever driven through Montreal, it's a little complicated, okay? And as we enter Montreal, we look at each other and say, okay, honey, we love each other, we're married to each other, and in 30 minutes, no matter what we say, we're still going to love each other at the end, all right? So the same thing, the next couple of days, just be flexible, and, because that's what happens. So it's a great way to do it. We've done it several times, and it's great. So, before we get too carried away, though, it's time to meet your new best friend. So what you're going to do now, everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Now, I know, and push your chairs in. Push your chairs in. Push your chairs in. Come on away. So I know that everyone in this room has been speed dating before, right? You got it. All right? We're going to go speed dating. But here's the challenge we have, and this comes into the flexibility department. You're all sitting at tables with people you know, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to turn around and look to the person behind you. Now, the people on this outside edge, right over here. Wait a minute, look at me. The people on this, wave your hands. All of you, I want you to move and face the people on this side. You guys get to move way over here. Way over there. Walk over there. Everybody walk. Leave your stuff. You don't need it. This is not only going to take about 4 or 5 hours. You got plenty of time. All right, so what you're going to do, line up so you're facing somebody now. Now, before you start dating, listen to the instructions. Line up so you're facing somebody, and in the next 15 seconds, introduce yourself to each other and tell them one cool thing about your community. Go. members of the Michigan State Extension CEC team statewide, stand up. Please stand up. So we've got Kay and Kathy and Andy and Mark, Frank, Diane, Hitch, Turbo. Oh, okay, so I wasn't going to say that. All right, this is the group. Go ahead and sit back down. And these guys they eat, drink, and breathe entrepreneurship. And as you can tell, I call all of their parents, and I got pictures of them at an early age. They've been involved in entrepreneurship all along, but we've been together for several years now, working on programs like this to help communities become more entrepreneurial friendly and have the tools. So we really appreciate that. Now, in addition to this group, though, we have a conference here in Houghton Hancock, and in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a similar conference down in Sturgis. So we literally have gone to both ends of the spectrum as far as Michigan is concerned. You can't get much farther in Michigan north, and I guarantee you can't get much farther south than Sturgis. In fact, I kid the group from Sturgis that they even have an Indiana zip code, don't you? But we got a couple right here. Raise your hand. You're from Sturgis, came all the way up here. Now, I do have a question for you. Did you come through Wisconsin to get here, or did you go through Michigan? Wisconsin. They came through Wisconsin to get here. So, all right, there is a local team in Sturgis, but today isn't about Sturgis, so we're not going to talk about that anymore. Today's about Houghton Hancock. So we've got 12 people that are on a local CEC team. I don't know who all's here. Everyone on the local team, stand up and wave your hands. You will see them throughout the area. This was the group that really worked. Cheryl Farmer at the Chamber of Commerce was the chair of this group. And if your community does not have a CEC team, and again, every community calls it something else, a CEC team is really pretty simple. You gather representatives from all the various organizations in that community that all, some or another, want to see entrepreneurship, want to see entrepreneurs succeed, and you get together and you share ideas and figure out a way to work together. You don't create another organization, you don't create another 501 whatever, you don't hire anybody, you don't have a budget, you form a team with people that are already there and you work together. And this conference right here is a perfect example of the local Houghton Hancock team of all the various organizations that are listed in your program that came together and continue to work together on this stuff. So give the local team a great round of applause. Thank you very, very much. So as I said, the last person I'd like to introduce is Dave Ivan. Okay, Dave Ivan, wave your hand here real quick. Dave is with Michigan State University Extension, and he is the director of the Greening Michigan Institute, and which is what all of this entrepreneurship falls under. So Dave, we appreciate you coming up and being part of this. And Dave is also was involved in creating the Michigan State Entrepreneurship Program 10 or so years ago. And so very knowledgeable guy, very appreciate you coming up and spending some time with us today. So. Okay, let me real quick and then we'll get to the keynote speaker. How many of you have been to a conference and some guy like me stands up and says, turn off your cell phones? We want you to turn your phones on. So if you have a cell phone, turn it on right now. Make sure it's turned on. And what we'd like you to do, if you're on Facebook, we want you to like us, okay? And so there's the, go to Connecting Entrepreneurial Communities on Facebook and like us. Now, as you participating here over the next day or so, take pictures, make comments, post them to the Facebook site. All right? So we will confirm your like or whatever we have to do that, but we'll make sure we're doing that. We'll check that every few minutes or so. And so like us on Facebook, and then as you take photos and things, you can post them right to there, or if you want to do hashtag, and yeah, that's a long hashtag, I apologize for that. But anyway, hashtag CEC 2015 MSUE. Anyway, that's a lot to swallow. Anyway, like us on Facebook, keep your cell phones on, take pictures, make comments, share. Okay, and then the last thing I want to do before we get to the keynote speaker is to recognize the sponsors. These are local and regional organizations that have come together to help make this conference happen. It could not happen if Michigan State did it by themselves. It couldn't happen. I talked about that local team. These organizations, many of them, all of them, put money into the budget in order to keep the registration low, and also to be able to do doing, but also many of them actually have volunteered manpower to be part of the CEC team and to actually do this. So again, as you come in contact with people from these organizations, be sure to thank them, okay? Very important role that they played. So let's give the sponsors a big round of applause. Thank you. Okay, we're almost there, folks. We'll get to hear this from the start of the show. This is all about entrepreneurship. And I think that as you think about entrepreneurship in your community, it really starts with the entrepreneur. That's the person that takes the chances. That's the person that makes the investment to build something bigger than they are that will last longer than they do. And if you really think about it, you either own a business, you either work for someone who owns a business, you either collect taxes from someone who owns a business, and I always like to point out and provide valuable services for the community, okay? Or you count on charity from an entrepreneur in order to provide services. So without that person taking the chances, growing the business, investing and growing, lots of things in the community would work. So think about it as the mindset as you go through here. It really all starts with entrepreneurship. And so I commend all of you for understanding the importance of entrepreneurship and wanting to learn more, share ideas, so you can go back and help your communities do a good job with entrepreneurs. So with that, I want to introduce Scott McGinnis. Scott McGinnis is going to introduce our keynote speaker. He promised me he'd keep the introduction down to about an hour and a half, right? So here's Scott.
Thank you very much. It is a pleasure for me to be able to introduce today's keynote speaker. This gentleman is a graduate of Michigan Tech, had such a good time up here, going to school and drinking beer. And his goal was to come back and to start a brewery. Vic's going to tell you his story. He's currently got one of the top 10 largest breweries in the state of Michigan, and he started in a little store in our downtown. So without further ado, please help me welcome Dick Gray, Keweenaw Brewing Company.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning. A couple rules here. This is going to be careful, just like Andy said. Didn't come with a prepared presentation, but I have a story to tell. One person has one job, and that would be Andy to pull the hook. Apparently I have 30 minutes, and I'd like to have a little time at the end to answer some questions. I think that adds a little value too. But about 3 or 4 months ago, Susie Manders, who's sitting over here, came into my office, which is a very small little thing up at our main brewery in South Main, and said, "Hey, we're having this conference, and we'd like you to be the presenter." And I went, "Okay, that's fine." Since that time, I've given other presentations. Had one the other day at Michigan Tech for the auxiliary group, which I didn't know what that was, but I assumed about 12, 15 people. Well, I get there, and it's 200 people want to hear my little story, which of course goes, let's see if I can hold it closer, on and on. But just to start, I'm going to start way back. Scotty mentioned that I graduated from Michigan Tech. And in fact, there's a professor of mine right here, Dr. Bill Rose. He was my professor. So it's kind of exciting. When I moved back here in 2005, there were a lot of my professors still actually working, and they come visit our little establishment downtown. But in 1977, I started at Tech. In 1981, I got married. In 1982, both my wife and I graduated from Michigan Tech. Moved to New Mexico. With a company named Amoco Production Company, now BP. I'm sure you all are familiar with MVP. Worked for Amoco for 16 years all across the West, Wyoming, New Mexico, Colorado, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Spent 4 years in research, which is kind of funny since I just have a bachelor's degree. It seemed out of place for me, but that's where they put me. But ultimately rose through the ranks, became an exploration manager out of our Denver region. we talk about risk, reward, other attributes of entrepreneurship. One thing that Amico did teach me is how to manage risk, how to manage people, how to manage money, and that's all part of being what I think is a successful business person. Excuse me. Anyway, after 16 years with Amico, I came home one day to my still wife and said, you know, I'm done. They want us to move to London, or they want us to move to Houston, and I wasn't really prepared to do that. Our 3 children were all in high school at the time, or actually junior high school at the time, middle school, whatever we call it these days. And so I left. I went on my own, got a large acres position from Amico, and partnered with 2 elderly gentlemen, and started a small oil and gas exploration company called Presco Western LLC. We started with a large acreage position. I started with 2 employees other than myself, and I borrowed money to pay myself and my 2 employees from my partners. I had countless promissory notes over the first year or so of business. We used our acreage position to our benefit by creating prospects, selling prospects, and then reducing our risk involved in those prospects until they were profitable. Over an 8-year period, we got to be quite successful. I quit borrowing money a little over a year after we started, and towards the end of the operation, we were actually doing our own drilling and buying up production, and not reducing our risk by moving the money to other investors. That was from 1998 to 2005. In 2004, I decided, I think it's time that I open a brewery. My wife says it's my hobby gone mad, and I think that's probably why I'm standing up here today, so you can hear my little story about that. But just so you know, I'm still working in oil and gas. I was the president and managing director of that company, and drawing a wage. And I told my wife that I think we're going to go up to Houghton. And we've been looking for a building. Our kids went to school here, and we used to vacation there all the time. So I've been looking for a building in downtown Houghton for about 8 years. Got with the local people in Houghton, looked a little bit more. And in 2004, I asked my geophysicist, who's working in my company, if he'd like to be my partner in a small little brewery in Houghton, Michigan, where I went to school. Anyway, what the hell? Why? So we both mortgaged our homes, and thought, cool, that gives us some money. We then came up to my wife and myself, and my partner and his then girlfriend, now wife, to visit Houghton so they could see this little community, because it's certainly not for everyone. Fortunately, my partner is an outdoor kind of guy, and he loved it. So while on vacation, I called the then city manager, the gentleman that was just standing here introducing me, to see what his thoughts would be and what the community's thoughts would be to open a brewery in downtown Houghton. Well, Scotty was gone, of course. It's never in his office. He's on vacation. So I thought, okay, I'll just leave my name and number and wanted to talk to him. I want to talk to him and have a chance to see if he would be receptive to this type of business in your town. Well, it's my second week of vacation. It's Monday morning, 9 a.m., and my phone rings. And I'm thinking, who in the world is calling me at 9 a.m. on Monday morning? Well, it's Scotty McGinnis. He just got back from vacation, and he's in the office, and the first thing he does is call me. And I made comments to him. I said, how is that possible? You're obviously a busy guy, and then you call some person you don't even know about a business. He says, well, anyone who wants to start a business in downtown Houghton goes to the top of the pile. So with that note, we got with the assessor in Houghton, and we went down building by building in downtown Houghton, because that's where I wanted to be with our primary, if you call it the tap room, and I called a few of the building owners, and found a gentleman that would sell us a building. Happened to be on the water side of the street, which is where we wanted to be. And with that, we bought a building. We had to then look for someone who would help us pay for the building. So then we went to a few bankers and found one that was more than willing to help us out and arranged a bank here in town locally. We wanted to do as much locally as possible. So in 2004, I'm now a co-owner of what is the Keweenaw Brewing Company and president and managing director of a small oil and gas company in Denver. We hired a brewer, moved him here. He opened the brewery in April of 2004. One thing about working for yourself, my partner and I took 1 week off a month from November to April to gut the building and rebuild it and make a brewery out of it. Found some used equipment. On April 22nd, 2004, we opened 1 week before Senior Walk. For people who don't know what Senior Walk is, it's a tradition that the seniors graduating in Michigan Tech started the Monty, which you probably won't visit there, but maybe you might today, who knows. But the far bar in Hancock, walk all the way through Hancock, visiting all the bars, all the way through Houghton. We're the second to last bar. So I should tell you about the condition of some of these students who they can't make a difference. Anyway, so we started with the building, and I understand you're going to have a little gathering there at 8 o'clock tonight or so. And it's kind of a shotgun-style building, and there's 2 sides. The first side, 10 minutes, I got 2 minutes, so we're going to run really fast. Okay, so the first side we opened in 2004. The second side we leased to a Christian bookstore. She was really disappointed that we weren't opening a women's boutique shop, but that came the wrong 2 guys. In 2006, we opened what the bookstore was into another bar. We added a deck in 2006 to the back. In 2005, back 2 years, we purchased a building in South Range, Michigan for our primary brewery. And in 2006, we bought all the property around that building because the brewing equipment I purchased didn't fit in the building, so we had to build another building. So with that all said, we started in 2004, made 460 barrels of beer. The barrel is 31 gallons. And this year we'll do almost 12,000 barrels of beer. We started with a brewer. My son and my daughter both went to Michigan Tech. They were our bartenders along with one other kid. So 4 employees. We now employ 28 people. 14 or 15 bartenders, which are all either Tech or Finlandia students by my rule. Once they graduate, they go off to their chosen careers, and we get eternal youth. And then our primary brewery is up in South Range. Like I said, we distribute across all of Michigan, Wisconsin, eastern Minnesota. We've tried a little Ohio, and we haven't been successful there yet, but it's going to come. We also took a little risk when we talk about risk, is we decided from the get-go we would can our beer. We were the very first brewery in Michigan to can, one of probably the top 30 in the country to can beer, because that's where we felt the business was going to go, and we were right. So with that said, if anyone has a question? Sure. I don't hear very well, so speak up.
If you gave advice to start up running with entrepreneurs, from your experience, what would be most valuable to yourself?
Repeat the question.
The question is, if I were to give advice to an entrepreneur wanting to start a business, what would I recommend? Well, first off, it depends on the business, really. I was in a high-risk oil and gas business, and not as risky, although risky, brewing business. Brewing is a lot of capital up front, so I would say if you're a successful brewer, you're probably a couple of old guys that own it, because they can afford to keep throwing money at it until it's successful. Not all that untrue. But I learned a lot in my career, and I learned a lot at school, and I simply wouldn't want to discount those 2 things at all. So I think patience, be ready. You know when you're going to be ready. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. And there's nothing wrong with like looking ahead and thinking for working for someone, and then jumping in when you think you've got the knowledge. Because I learned a lot at school, got me the career that I had, and I learned a lot in my career. And when I went across the street, I was ready.
Next question.
Any other questions?
Okay. So the topic came
me in my retirement, if you want to call it that. But I think it's a two-way street. I think the community needs to be involved in the businesses that are here, support that business, and in return, the business needs to help support the community. Did I answer your question?
Question? Yep.
Why beer? I mean, I know your connection, and why beer? You're an oil and gas guy.
I don't know if that's true. And I think you'll find, if you look back, there's a lot of us oil and gas guys that have breweries. In fact, there's a gentleman that I know, personally, he owned the Keweenaw Brewing Company, which is where I learned that I think I should own a brewery someday. He's now the governor of Colorado. And he was a geologist for ARCO, I believe, at one time. So, you know, when I went on my own oil and gas, there was so much risk and so much money that, you know, it wears you out. When I was at Amoco, it's not really my money. And I didn't look at oil and gas company as my money either, but still, a lot of it was. And the brewing business is what my still wife, after 35 years, says, my hobby gone mad. It's fun. And part of the fun is not making the money, but building a company that's successful and employs people and is part of the community. I think those are the key aspects.
Thank you very much. Katie Jensen, stand up, please. Where's Katie Jensen? Right here. Katie Jensen, Michigan Retailers Association, is buying everybody their first drink at the Keweenaw Brewing Company tonight. She's the one right there. So, when you get to that point, we'll have a drink ticket for everybody. When you arrive at the Keweenaw Brewing Company, she would love to buy you a drink, buy you a beer. So, anyway, please do that tonight. It's also an excellent way of getting to know each other and, sharing ideas. So, Dick, thank you very much for taking the time today. Yeah. Although I got a quick kick out of the question, why beer, why beer? Well, why beer? Everyone knows that. Okay, a couple of little program reminders, and then we have one final little thing, and then we'll kick you out of here to go enjoy yourself. First of all, in your packet, we do that. Sorry, that was better than I thought. There we go. All right, in your packet, you will see a schedule. It's pretty self-explanatory. It tells where the sessions are. There's a very nice, easy-to-read map, color-coded. Obviously, make sure that today you're looking at the numbers in Houghton. Tomorrow, you're looking at the numbers in Hancock. Okay, all sessions today are on this side of the water. Tomorrow, they're over there. So that'll show you where to get around. If you have any questions about your sessions or any of that stuff, go to the registration desk. They will help you figure that out. Anyway, people back there that can help you figure that out if you have any questions whatsoever. This evening, note that there is networking dinner at 5:30-ish. Yeah, 5:30 to 6:30 will be a buffet dinner. And that'll be right here in this room, right here. Come back here. And then after that, they'll have an opportunity to cruise up and down the channel. And that'll be, again, a great way to kind of get together. And then around 8 o'clock, we're all going to go see Katie, right? All going to see Katie at the brewing company, all right? Tomorrow morning, what we really would like you to do is we'd like you to get to the Finnish American Heritage Center by around 8 o'clock. Now, if you want to show up at 7:30, there'll be a continental breakfast type thing there. So, if you get there about 8 o'clock, we'd like you to park there, and then we'll have shuttle buses that will take you to the Eula Center. Eula Center? I say that wrong. Eula Center, I apologize. Eula Center, which is a pretty cool smart zone building, and that will be an opening session, and then we'll come back, bus you back, and then you'll be able to walk around to your sessions over in Hancock tomorrow. So just get there as early as you want, but try to get there by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to the Finnish American Heritage Center. All right? And then you'll also note our opening session is 60 ideas in 60 minutes. This is your chance to share ideas from your community. So give that some thought, and we'll give you an opportunity to stand up and say, I'm Andy Hayes from Petoskey, Michigan, and this is something cool that we're doing, or whatever. It's a great idea sharing. Last year we did this for the first time and came out with 43 solid ideas that you can take home for your community. So we want to break that record and come up with 60 ideas in 60 minutes tomorrow. And these will all be posted on the website. We'll get all copies of this stuff. So great ideas to come back to. So, all right. So with that, I'd like to introduce Eric Ward. Eric is the city manager of Houghton. Please come up here. And he's got a final little welcome and a couple of comments. And then at that point, we're going to kick you out of here, and we will see you at dinner tonight. Or we'll see you around town. So Eric, thank you. Oh, I have one final thing. Dick, come here. I'm sorry. Dick, come up here, please. I'm so sorry.
I know you are a huge Michigan State Spartan fan. I know you bleed green and white. So we want to outfit you. Here's an MSU umbrella. It should be a snow shovel. A nice hat for you to wear. And of course, a collapsible bag that you can always have Michigan State with you. Thank you very much. Hey, come by tonight. I'll buy you a beer.
Thank you.
No, I think, welcome to Houghton Hancock and the Keynote. I think everyone hopes everybody has a great time and learns a lot. But I think one of the interesting questions that was asked, I think from one of the front rows, was kind of like, why here, why here? And realistically, the why here is what you're here to understand, that you want to bring back to your communities. And looking at it, it's not just having that cool idea, but those people that have those cool ideas, those million-dollar ideas, those sought-after products, that they need a place to manufacture them, a place to develop their ideas, and that's the same place that they want to live. That's the community part. And realistically, that's a big part of what hopefully everyone takes away from here. I know, looking at the different programs over the next day and a half or so, that a lot of it's about the community that you have to foster that good idea, that business, or whatever it is. So you have all these things from parks to parks, cool places to eat and drink in your communities. You have to build on those and give the entrepreneur the place. That's the here. That's that community, your community, is where you want those things to happen. So, again, I'll turn it back over. I said I'd try to keep it under a minute. I was close. So, perfect.
I'll let you reach into your own pocket.
Don't know what else is in there. That's it.
We're done with this thing. So, thank you very much. Enjoy the day, and go out and enjoy Houghton. And tomorrow you'll enjoy Hancock. So we'll see. If we don't see you around, we'll see you back here for dinner tonight.